a week ago. I took a few days off and I practiced Thursday, Friday, and we came here Friday afternoon and obviously had the few days here, but I'm feeling good. It's been nice to get back on the hard courts again, and obviously getting used to the heat and the weather and the general weather and the conditions and all that can kind of take its toll if you're not smart about things, but I enjoy playing in the heat, so hopefully I'll be able to adjust pretty quickly.
What made you play Stanford a whole lot? What made you want to come here this time?
Try something different. I mean, I love that Stanford tournament, but I've also heard really good things about here in Washington, and it's funny, as soon as a few people heard that I was playing here, that everyone told me that I love the city and it's a great place, and I agree. So I'm really glad that I've been able to come here and experience, another part of the States and another tournament, and so far I've had a really good time, so I'd love to be here for a while longer.
Have you been out and about seeing anything, sightseeing?
I haven't been sightseeing yet. Like I said, I've just been here the weekend and been practicing. I practiced late on Saturday at night time, so kind of that day was gone. But like I said, I'd love to get out and see some things. There's obviously heaps of things to see and do, and been eating all right as well here, so as I usually do. But yeah, like I said, there's so much to do, but obviously tennis takes up a fair bit of time, and deal with that first and then see what else can happen during the week.
Better food than Charleston?
Oh, I don't know about that yet. I've got to experience a few more things before I make that call.
Do you have reservations for different places this week?
No, I haven't done any of that. No, I mean, so far I'm all right with getting in, so we'll play it by ear.
When you, for a long time, you hadn't won that many titles compared to you were a top 10 player for a long time, won a Grand Slam, but not that many total titles. Now you're sort of racking them up a little bit more. Does that stat of total titles won mean much to you?
Look, the more the merrier, but of course I'd like to have more and more, but obviously US Open and having a Grand Slam trumps anything, so I guess it's just been one of those things, but I took a little while to win one, and now my record in the last, I guess, handful has been pretty good, so it's certainly a really nice feeling to be able to play well in those moments and in finals and all that, and winning tournaments no matter where they are certainly gives you a big confidence boost, so it's nice to that number's slowly climbing, and hopefully it can climb a little bit more.
You will have in the last 6 weeks gone from playing on grass
Mm-hmm.
and then to playing in Pakistan, is it?
Yeah.
Here on the hard courts. Do you and your coaches consciously talk about and work about sort of technical adjustments you have to make, or is it more a question of sort of a quick evolution of your game and you just put the hours in on court to make the enhancements happen?
Yeah, I think the surface that I have to make the biggest adjustments on is probably the grass, and that's the surface that I've struggled on the most in my career, so that's kind of takes a bit more time for me to kind of get used to it, whereas clay, I feel like my game kind of after a few days and you get the movement down and your footwork a little bit better, my game's pretty suited to that, so I don't have to necessarily work too hard at making adjustments. And then these kind of hard courts is kind of similar, apart from I want to play the same way as what I did last week in Badgastein, but obviously just your footwork and things, because you're not sliding now, you have to adjust that, and that can take a little bit of time, but apart from that, it's not like I have to think about trying to set my points up differently or play a different kind of style or anything like that. What I do best is what I need to do on every surface, no matter what that is.
With you and Hewitt both playing here, I expect there'll be a pretty big Aussie contingent in the stadium. Of course, you don't know that yet, but I'm curious about where on tour you experience like the biggest sort of waves of Aussie fandom outside of Melbourne.
I'd have probably Wimbledon. There's quite decent. For a small country, we've got a lot of our people who like to live in the UK. So yeah, I guess probably Wimbledon would have the biggest kind of Aussie contingent and following that come out to watch the tennis. But Aussies, we travel very well. We like to go out and see the world. So there's always usually somebody from home at a tournament somewhere, no matter where you are. So it's kind of cool that they then can follow the tennis and come out and support us wherever we end up.
There's been a lot of drama with the young Aussies lately on the men's side of things. What advice do you have to those guys who are going through some tough times and trying to figure it out?
Well, I don't know if they'll growing up in the spotlight, and they're fantastic tennis players, but I guess they're boys, and they do. No, I'm saying like every teenager and young kid goes through stuff, but they're doing it in front of the world, and it's probably highlighted a little bit. But I'm sure they'll mature and probably change a lot as they grow up. But I mean, they're fantastic players, and people like to watch them. So they're doing very well. But obviously, there's a few off-court antics that everyone's probably most interested in at the moment.
I think it's fair for them to be criticized for stuff now at this age. I think there should be more sort of forgiveness, patience, whatever.
I don't know, maybe a bit of both. I guess it's got a maybe bit of an understanding of it, but at the end of the day, also they're in there, and no matter how old you are, who you are, where you're from, any of that, you're still a role model to probably lots of people out there. So I think that's something that you've got to take, control of it and take kind of seriously. But again, there's a bit of to and fro. It's never going to be like, I don't think you can expect them to be this perfect, Roger Federer type character when they're 20 years old. They'll change as they get older, but they're exciting to watch. I mean, that charisma and that you can't kind of teach it. That just happens, and it's exciting.
Are you conscious of being a role model? Something you think about?
I don't really think about it, but like when somebody says, a little kid comes up to you and they say, you're my favourite tennis player and I love watching you or whatever, it kind of, it makes you kind of step back and think, well, I was them like 15 years ago to Steffi Graf and Monica Seles, and I know, what I felt watching those, so I guess it's something that you kind of don't think about every day, but sometimes in certain moments it might hit you and you think, okay, you want to give a good example, I guess.
I guess just in terms of behavior, and not that you're throwing wild hotel parties, but,
No, I'm not.
Well, you're not getting arrested for it.
No, look, I think I'm pretty sensible, so I don't think you'll ever see me doing something like that.
A different question about Aussie tennis players. I've always wondered, you spend so much time so far away from home. Must be, I mean, you have no baseball comparison, but it must be harder than the other players. Do you set up shop in certain places, like in the European clay court season or the U.S. hard court seasons, the two of them? Or do you actually get a chance to go back to Australia? I mean, or would you? How does that work? It's very...
No, I haven't been. I left Australia before Indian Wells, so before March, and I won't go back till after the US Open. So this is actually a really long trip for me. And normally I go home after Wimbledon, but I chose to go play those clay court tournaments, so didn't go home. But I do have a base in Florida, which I use, a few days here, maybe a week there throughout the year, and this year I've used it more than maybe the last couple, so that's certainly, if I didn't have that, there's no way I could do this 6 months without going home. It'd just be too hard. And my coach, he's Australian, but he lives in Liechtenstein in Europe, so I've got a little base there that I can go to and practice, and if I take a week off, it kind of feels a bit familiar, so that's good too. But I guess no place is like home, but that's the way it is.
So last question, hi Sam, you're about Tennis Balls. Going back to the role model theme, do you have any young female Aussie players that you serve in a mentorship capacity that look up to you for advice and things like that?
Nothing official by any means, but our Fed Cup captain now, Alicia Mollick, she's kind of brought back the idea of having what we call an orange girl, so a young junior who comes for the week and they'll practice with us and see what we do and hang out and I guess experience Fed Cup week like that. So the last two girls that we've had, Kimberly Birrell and Priscilla Hon, they I think had a great experience, and I've seen those two girls out, playing the junior slams and a few other tournaments throughout the year, and I'm always willing to give any of them. If you want to ask me any question, I'll happily answer it and help them in whatever capacity I can. So nothing official, but if anyone wants my help, then I'd gladly give it.
Well, I wanted to ask you about your first match. No buys means, tougher first rounds. So you're playing Kiki Mladenovic, big server. What else do you expect from that?
Well, we actually played each other in the final of Strasbourg just the week before French, and she, for a set and a half, she was on top of me, and somehow I turned it around and ended up winning the match. But definitely expect a tough one. Like you said, she's got a big serve, she's got a very good forehand, hits the ball hard. So in these conditions, the ball's going to be on me pretty quick. So I need to really make sure that I'm ready to go and expect a tough one. But I need to play my game. I need to do what I do best and hopefully do it close to my best and go from there. But I guess there's a few things that I'll probably look at from Strasbourg, but go out there and see what happens on the day. She's capable of beating high ranked players, so I have to be wary of that.